aniline, and then this is with the carbon non-active. This is the one which you make it in gentle route, and then this is if you have removed this manganese oxide based one, this is a 600 plus, 462, 620. Here we use different graphene instead of carbon nanofiber. We use the graphite, so that's why this is. Otherwise, these two samples are same, the same preparation, but same. This sample shows 600 plus farad per gram, whereas the conventional one shows only 400. It's almost 50% increment in the energy storage. So because of this, we observed that this polymerization has a major role. So we extended this technique for other case. Like this case, we make a graphene oxide. We make a metal hexocyanoferrate complex. You put metal ions and potassium ferricyanate, you could see you can make a metal hexocyanoferrate. When you decompose this metal hexocyanoferrate with the sodium hydroxide, you can directly end up with some metal oxides. Here metal oxides are crystalline without any heat treatment. Generally, if you take a metal nitrate, some copper nitrate or iron nitrate, and then if you make it precipitate, you will end up with amorphous. When you heat it to 400 degree, 500 degree, then only you will get crystalline. But this case, we end up with a highly crystalline system without any heat treatment. So we explored for this for the manganese, nickel, cobalt, copper, or zinc. Most of the cases it end up with metal oxide. In one or two cases we end up with hydroxide. I think in the nickel case we end up with nickel hydroxide, not nickel oxide. Okay, so the nickel hydroxide as it is can be used as a pseudo capacity material. But in what we observed in all these cases are these graphene based materials are really challenging in two aspects. One is the cost. Okay, so the graphite is cheaper, there's no doubt about it. But when you want to make it as a graphene oxide, unfortunately not many methods are available. Only the chemical routes are promising, that is a Hammers method or modified Hammers method. So it involves a lot of chemicals as well as a dangerous procedure. So making graphene oxide is a tough. Okay, so because of this, scaling up the process is a tedious process. When you want to have some commercial applications of using this material, scaling up in this material to in kilograms or tons is a really challenging process. Okay, so but of course there are some advantages like no calcination process involved, but this is long way to go. But at present we observed that this carbon or this graphene based carbons are not suitable for device applications. So we wanted to move into the bio based materials. We took some bio based material like rice straw or corn cob. We converted into a carbon based materials by using a chemical activation. Okay, we end up with activated carbon. So this is SCA images of activated carbon before and after. Okay, here you could see this is carbon blocks. You could see before activation. When you do the activation process, it makes a lot of puncture. Like you can see, it creates a lot of holes or porosity. So because of these pores, surface area of the materials will be very high. So the ions can the electrolyte can easily penetrate through these pores. So these materials could be effectively used for any applications, even lithium-ion batteries or supercapacitors. This case we use for supercapacitor applications. We made a very tiny supercapacitor, maybe 2-3 years before. We made 2-3 small capacitors clubbed together, and then we could be able to club some LEDs. But the advantage of these capacitors are highly flexible in nature. So you can bend it this capacitor to 30 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree, or 120 degree. You could have the similar performance. So we have used several carbon sources. We have also correlated the physical parameters of this carbon with the specific capacitance. Unfortunately, this is very difficult to correlate since as like the previous case, here also there are a lot of parameters as plays into the performance. Not only a surface area, or not only a pore volume, or not only a conductivity. Combination of all these things is so important. So the other side, we wanted to also use a different electrolyte or have a different configuration to increase the voltage, since the V is a V squared. Okay, so even there is a small change in the voltage can significantly increase the energy density of the capacitors or supercapacitors. So that's why people are using different electrolytes. Maybe I just skip this part. So, but still all you see aqueous based electrolytes are very common. So we wanted to increase the capacitors voltage to 2 volt, but still in aqueous based electrolytes. I told you the 1.6 or 1.7, the water will split into hydrogen and oxygen. So by having two different materials as your positive and negative, and then you could able to extend the potential window of the water up to 2 volt without any decomposition. So that's what we have done here. We use some different negative electrode and different positive electrode. We could we could extend the potential window up to 2 volt in aqueous electrolyte, so that performance of the material can also be increased. We have demonstrated for 2 volt, and then the same thing we wanted to implement by using this carbon materials, and then this metal oxide prepared by conventional method, that is called generally asymmetric synthesis, asymmetric capacitors. For example, generally in capacitors, both these, so that is called symmetric capacitors. If you use two different material as a negative and positive electrodes, then it is called asymmetric capacitors. So that's what we have done several years before. We made a small capacitors like this, one level up, where we could connect these two capacitors and build up, we can blow a LED. And then these capacitors are made up of really of 1 centimeter squared or 2 centimeter squared. Recently, we extend these to 5 centimeter squared electrode, and then these several electrodes are 6 or 7 electrodes are connected in parallel, so that they increase energy density. And then this to increase the voltage, since it is aqueous based electrolyte, we could give this is asymmetric. Still for safe side, we can have only 1.6 or 1.7 volt. So if you want to use it for replace 9 volt battery or 12 volt battery, you could connect 3 or 4 capacitors in series manner, so you could increase the voltage. So we also use this carbon to make a commercial like capacitors. That means a 4 meter tape with a 10 centimeter squared width. We made a 4 meter tape. This is another 4 meter tape. So we rolled up into this kind of small capacitors. In between, we have some separator like some tissue paper or separated paper. So we could end up with this kind of capacitors. This has a 45 farad and 2.2 farad, 2.2 voltage. So that is used in non-aqueous medium. So you can go here up to 2.7 volt, and then this 45 farad capacitor. So we are working on this kind of supercapacitor fabrication using commercial to meet out the commercial production. So currently we are making the activated carbons in kilograms scale. This may be per patch we could able to make 150 gram or 200 grams. So our ultimate idea is to increase the production of carbon per patch to 1 kg or 2 kg. That's what we are making it. And then we are also extending this facility for instead of doing in hand, we are going to have a fabrication system, so that all this process can be done through all the machines, so that we can able to produce, or we can produce 10 capacitors or 20 capacitors or 100 capacitors in a day by using this facility. This is what we are working at CSIR Sikri at present. So maybe I conclude that is it possible to have green and environment friendly energy storage devices by using these kind of technologies, particularly carbon based materials. Once again, I take this opportunity to thank our director, or also my students and the funding agencies for their contribution and support. So thank you, Anandal. Maybe I'm happy to answer for a few questions if you have. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. for your wonderful lecture. Both yesterday and today, we were able to learn some recent advancements in the in in the aspect of materials development for energy applications. Now, if participants have any questions, please post it in the chat box. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir. He says he is using carbonized PAN electrospun nanofiber. Can you suggest binder material for the same?
Binder, you can use PTFE or PVDF.
PVDF, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Participants, any more question? Please post your questions in the chat box. There's another question.
Yeah.
How to split the positive and negative in the P dot PSS polymer?
That, yeah, just a minute. I'll. So P dot PSS polymer or
P dot PSS polymer, yes, sir.
yeah. So you cannot. This is a combined. You can get a commercial one. P dot PSS is comes together. Okay. So we'll mix
Yes,
with
sir.
reduce the graphene oxide and we'll make one material. So that will works in this potential window. For example, 0 to minus 0.9 with respect to saturated columnar electrode. Okay. So this will act as a one generally in supercapacitor. I hope might be you aware then from the previous speaker. So the same material will be used as your negative material as well as the positive material. Or the other way, cathode as well as anode. Okay. In such a case, you cannot avoid the water decomposition. Either the oxygen will evolve or the hydrogen evolution will take place. So if you go for this side, there is a hydrogen evolution. If you go for this side, you will get a oxygen evolution. So if you have a single electrode as your anode as well as cathode or negative as well as a positive, then this water decomposition cannot be avoided above 1.5 or 1.6 volt itself. Okay. So for example, if you have two different materials, so that's why we call it as asymmetric. So generally it's symmetric. Symmetric nobody will mention. If it is used the same material, then nobody will mess. They will tell you simply a capacitor. Nobody will tell a symmetric capacitors. When you have this kind of issues, then you should be able to, you should clearly you should tell whether it's a symmetric or asymmetric. In this case, here the hydrogen evolution will be avoided this side. So the oxygen evolution will avoided by using this side. So when you have a manganese oxide, you can avoid the oxygen evolution. When you have this configuration, you can avoid the hydrogen evolution. So by combining these, you can extend this potential window up to 2 volt without any hydrogen and oxygen evolution. But yeah, but it is it's a tricky process. But it is sometimes maybe initially some of the system will be stable, but after some time you could see there is a stability issue. Even here we have observed some kind of issues like this. You could see this charging is very long time, but discharging is very small. So that means there is some kind of evolution which takes place at a very minor level. So that's why you could see there is a small current. But the concept wise, this could be used, but I will not suggest for going for 2 volt device using this combination.
Thank you, sir. Nisha Prakash asks, in preparing metal oxide nanoparticles using plant extract, shall we add bioactivated carbon to improve the capacitance for supercapacitor application?
If you want to make a metal nanoparticle out of your plant extract, then you can add carbon. If you want to use supercapacitor, then you can also add some activated carbon or bio-derived carbon, whatever it may be. In such a case, this metal oxide will be directly deposited on your carbon matrix. So but most of the case, metal is not preferred. So if you have metal oxide, then it will be better. But if you have metal decorated carbon, most of the case it will not be useful for supercapacitor application. Instead of that, you can try to use it for fuel cell or fuel cell applications. Yeah.
Metal. Okay, sir. Sir, another question. Polymer is easily degradable. Then how to choose the polymer? PDOT is water absorbing and PSS is water opposing.
Okay.
He questions how to choose the correct polymer. Since it is easily degradable, uh, how to choose the polymer based on
No, the
what factor?
polymer actually here what you need is it should have some conductivity. So that's what the main concern in when you have this supercapacitor application. The polymer has to be conductive. Then that's why many people use only conductive polymers like polyaniline, polypyrrole, or PDOT-PSS. So that is a major factor rather than any other parameters. But of course, the stability of the polymer has to be good at electrochemical environment.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Then there is another question: how to prepare the working electrode? The process of coating the electrode and the
Okay, okay,
composition
okay. I thought
composition of
I
the electrode.
actually, in fact, I had a detailed slides earlier, but I thought that maybe somebody will talk to you, so I don't want to repeat the same thing. Most of the case, we'll use
Okay, sir.
80% or percentage or 90% of your material. For example, in the case of metal oxides, if it is carbon, you need not to worry. You can go 90 or 95%. The rest of the 5% will be some conductive binders, so like PTFE or PVDF. So you can, if you mix it and then you can grind it well, and then you can directly coat on the surface of the electrode.
Thank you, sir. Maybe that's all with the questions, sir. Thank you so much
Okay.
for joining us both yesterday and today. And this is Dr. M. Satish from Sekri Karikudi. If you want to contact him, you can get his email ID in his website, in the Central Electrochemical Research Institute website. You can find him. So participants who want to be in contact with him, you can mail, sir.
Yeah, sure. Most
Thank you
welcome.
so
If
much, sir.
anyone you have some interest or some specific question, you can write me over email. I'm happy to answer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, we are moving to the second session, sir. You may take leave, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope it is useful for at least for some of you. Yeah, thank you.
Definitely, sir. Thank you, sir. Participants, we are moving to the second session. So the second session is actually human values and stress management systems. I request all of you to stay here. Our speakers are already joined. Um, Mr. Mr. Chandragot Tikota, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. This is
Chandrakant
Chandrakant. I am
Jodha.
from
Thank you, sir.
Sahajog. Yeah, I joined from Sahajog.
Thank you, sir. Just a second, sir. There is also another speaker for this session.
Yeah, Priyanka.
So,
I know she is with me. She is my colleague. Yeah, she is also joining in few minutes.
yes, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, Miss Priyanka
Yeah, so till now, can I try to share my PPT? Just check if it is everything is working fine. Yeah, Priyanka Darke is my colleague. She is joining shortly.
To the participants to this energy conservation and storage device research in today's participants uh, this session is a special session on stress management and universal human values. Scientists now acknowledge that COVID-19 has caused significant distresses in people with the fear of infection, and other unfamiliar social distancing norms. So, understanding this stress management sessions are conducted for AACT
Ma'am, your voice is breaking. We cannot able to hear you properly. And from Sahajoga team, myself and Priyanka both has joined.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Priyanka ma'am.
Sir, just a second, sir. I'll stop the recording and start it once again because I lost my connection for a while.
Yes, ma'am, take your time.
Yeah.